Hey, welcome back to Always Learning. And what are we doing today? Well, today we're learning how to repair a fence or put up a fence. It's basically the same process. I'm just going to show you. What we're doing here is we're just basically taking a post hole digger and we're digging a hole. You just want to measure down. We got 8-foot posts and you're going to want them about 2 feet down. You could cut the tops off, but it's just easier to dig the right depth, put a little dirt back in there or a rock at the bottom if you need to. And once you figure out your depth, then you're simply going to clean up your hole and get any dirt you need out of there around the sides. And then you're just going to measure to make sure you're not too deep and you're not too shallow. You can also mark a line across where you want the post and stick the post back in there, but it's just a little lighter to put the tape measure in there. Here I'm showing you the back side of the fence because this is kind of the anatomy of a fence. You have the post that goes in the ground, and then across the bottom running parallel to the ground, and across the top you have what are called stringers. And these basically set on top of the post or attached to the side of the post, and that is what your dog ears or your pickets are going to attach to. So once you kind of get that all figured out of how you want to lay it, you want to run it, you can run a string across the posts to make sure that your post is lined up. But here we're just throwing a little bit of ready or Quikrete in the bottom to kind of give it a little bit of a base, and then we're setting the post in, and then we'll slowly add water and Quikrete, and then we'll put a level on the side of the post to make sure that it's going to be square with the other ones and that it's actually upright. You got a little bit of wiggle room. You know, if you're a little off, it can be a little bit crooked. It just depends on how anal retentive you want to be as far as setting up your post. I just kind of do it gradually, a little at a time, and then check the post. It does set up pretty quick, so you just want to kind of check it periodically. And yes, you know, some people they'll nail a 2x4 in the ground on each side to make sure it stays where it has. But like I said, this stuff sets up so quick anymore if you don't add too much water to it. And then it'll leach water out of the ground over time and get solid. You want to kind of leave it so it's not, it slopes downward off of the post. And even if you've got a little dirt on top, you can take the concrete all the way to the top. I like to leave the dirt on top and kind of angle the concrete down so the water runs off into the dirt. There's what it looks like when it's done. You can see, and grass will grow up around it, and it'll be fine. Just kind of depends on what kind of look you want at the end. Now we're going to measure up. It's, I don't know, let's say it's 10 inches on the other side. That's where we're going to put the stringer. So we're simply coming up 10 inches and making a mark straight across so we know where the board's going to be. We're going to set that the same on the other side, and then we're going to set a level on it to make sure it's level, and then we're simply going to kind of toenail screw the screws in. Like I said, this is the stringer. We'll put one on the bottom, and then we'll put one on top, and that's what you're going to nail your pickets to. Once you get the bottom, you're going to do that with the top. I like to do that with a screw that's got a driver bit that you can actually twist. It's not just a Phillips, it's actually a star or a square, but they will sink. You'll actually rip the head off before you will strip the screw out. So you can see here, Derek's just kind of coming in. He's starting straight, and then as he goes, he's kind of angling it and driving the screw. That way you don't, you kind of get it in most of the wood on the 2x4 that's the stringer, and then you also get it in the post as well. Once we have our stringers firmly attached, we're simply going to just start nailing the pickets up there. We're going to use a circular saw. You just kind of want to get them a little off the ground so they don't rot on the ground. We're using cedar, and you're going to kind of want to keep them straight. Some people will use like a bit of a spacer to get him. Here he's just marking. Ours are a little long, So he's just going to mark it and take the bottom off. It's pretty simple. You just take a speed square, follow your line, come across, make that mark, give you a little bit of a track. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be on the bottom anyway. Grass is going to grow up, and you're just going to take your skill saw and cut off that bottom piece. If you have a bunch that are the same, you can just lay the previous one you cut and use that as your guide just to kind of speed it up. Or you can use actually the other end you cut off as your guide to mark it anyway. Then Derek's just coming in here and he's just going to nail. You could also screw. You could use a nail gun. My buddy had my nail gun, so we're doing it the old-fashioned way. We're just going to take a little pride in our work and we're just going to nail them in. But you're just simply nailing the pickets into the stringer behind, a 2x4 stringer behind a pressure treated, and just kind of make sure you have a little bit of a space, make sure it's straight up and down, and kind of keep going. If you do get where one's kind of tight, you can literally rip it, just cut the length away. And you just do that over and over again, but there's the final product. Not bad for a old fence.
That's how you put up a fence.
Thanks for watching. There we go.
All right.